What is going on, YouTube? I'm going to be sharing with you guys a first place out of locals Cresgarurumon red deck build. And I'm here with Zach. Go ahead, Zach. Start with the build.
All right, so start with the eggs. We got ourselves the obvious 3 Digimon and the 1 Koro. GG is more consistent in this. It's not a red Omni build where you're building up every single time. There's a lot of hard plays in this deck, so the GG is just better. For our rookies, we got, let's see. We have the best rookie in red for Agu. We have the second best rookie in red for Gillimon. And then we have our 2 cost. I chose to do mono just because I also play the memory gain Bio, so just playing around Omnimon. If I could choose, I would take 2 of the mono out and add 2 more of this memory gain Bio. Putting myself to 4 in this deck is insane. It lets you just extend infinitely more, so that would be a recommendation if you try to build this. This is also another flex spot, starting with our level 4s. We have 3 of the security Greymon. This can be the other Greymon that gives security attack +1. I just chose this because there's a lot of blue and rush in my meta. So any amount of advantages I can get, I'll take. But I play the level 6 War Greymon that gives security attack +1 and doesn't trigger options. And that is probably better than this in the long run, just consistency-wise. So I'd recommend that. The other level 4s, we have the 4 Dark Tyranno because it's 1 cost to evolve, and then we have the 4 blocker because you need blockers. For our 5s, we have the 2 ground. It's the worst level 5 to hit on the Cresgarurumon. That's why I only play 2, but you have to play it because it is only 5 cost to play. We have 3 of the Lavagaritamon. Second worst to hit, but you have to play it because it's only 2 to evolve. We play the 3 Skullgray. He was really good when I hit him and the setup was there. Otherwise, I was using him to evolve and he wasn't that great. That's why I want to make some other recommendations for my level 5s. Going back to the level 4s as well, if you didn't want to do the security Greymon, you can also use this boy. He seems absolutely nuts in this deck. He'd probably be the best level 4 you could ever hit other than the Cordramon for a blocker. And that's probably what I'm going to be testing today, is playing the 3 of him instead of the security Greymon. And then also for level 5s, I thought about not necessarily cutting the Skullgray, but maybe taking 1 off and then taking away 1 of the Lavagarita to put 2, 2, and 2, and have 2 of him. The idea is I play him for free off a Cresgarurumon, or I evolve into him. I swing, gain 3 memory, hopefully add another Digimon so he guarantees survives. If not, then pray he survives. But he's done his job if I gain the 3 memory. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what my opponent's memory is, as long as I'm getting better board advantage. Evolve on top of him with the Cresgarurumon, get the effect, get even more advantage by playing something else for free, and then Cresgarurumon reboot when I pass the turn, and it's essentially just infinite pluses. So if you can fit 1 or 2 of him in, I recommend. I'll be testing it out today as well. And for the last level 5, I'm playing 3 of the Metal Greymon. He is insane. I never swung with him. I always evolved on top of him because he essentially guaranteed my level 6s aren't going to die to anything except an Omnimon. But even then, if I had a egg or a level 3 underneath, they probably weren't dying to Omnimon either. So I almost want to put 4 of this because it's so good. It's so good, not for the fact that it helps your board, it's because it forces your opponent to do something about it. So instead of your opponent killing your Cresgaruru or killing your big stack that you have next to it or something like that, they have to kill the Metal Gray because they will lose if they don't. Going on to our level 6s now, we have the star of the show, 4 of the Cresgaruru. Card's insane. People hate this card. Every single time I played it, other than maybe once or twice, it always got me a level 5 or level 4. I only play 3 level 7s, so your chances of missing with this are super slim. And he's just insane. I think people super undervalue this card, and the board advantage it gives is incredible. For our next level 6, we have the 2 Gallantmon. I don't know how I feel about Gallantmon. He's either really, really good, or he's just kind of sits there and does nothing. Against all the rush style decks, he literally sits there. You're never casting him, essentially. You're never evolving into him. I also only play 2 Tamers, so his consistency with the minus 6k deletion is off, really. The only time he ever came in clutch was, I think it was game 1 or game 2 against a red-yellow control, and he just swung, trashed the top 1 or top 2, and then hit security for game. I want to take one out, keeping one in just for the red-yellow matchup, and to add one more of this card. And we want one more of this Wargreymon. I wish I could see this card more. I only own one right now. Accidentally sold my second. I almost want to take Gallantmon completely out and play 2 more of him. He single-handedly wins games with a Metal Greymon underneath him. He is a 14k beater, only dying to Omnimons. And if you're not going against a red mirror, you swing for free. He doesn't trigger the Gaia Forces, doesn't trigger Kaitis Breath, Positron, Flower Cannon, all that stuff. And he's, especially with the new meta coming around where there's a lot of red-yellow, he's even more insane. Literally free wins if you get this guy out. For our 7s, we have the 1 Alteress, just because he's the only Omnimon that can go onto red and black. I would play the regular Omnimon if I could, but he's better with consistency-wise. And then the 1 tech we have is the 2 Millenniumon. I'm playing him over Omni because we have the 4 black level 6s. He also gets around things like Craniumon, gets around things like... he's really good against Shine, I noticed. I would just put their Shine to the bottom, and if they didn't have a way to climb back into another Shine, they kind of just lost. And then even if they could climb back into Shine, they didn't want to kill this because it would just come back, and it's very good. I'm probably going to keep it. Then, like I said before, we have the 2 tie. Don't play the black tie, there's no reason. Play the red tie, so you get the security attack +1 when you have a full stack under your Wargreymon and Gallantmon. And then I have the 2 Gaia Forces. I think Gaia Force is extremely overrated. I would put this to 0 if I could find something else to replace it with. You're honestly never casting this from hand unless you're going against a red mirror and your opponent has a giant stack of Omnimon and literally nothing else on the board. You could just kill it because you know they can't do anything to you next turn. Card is only good in your security from what I noticed, and I'm trying to build a deck that's the most consistent as possible and getting as much board state advantage as possible. So having sack cards like Gaia Force and the security Greymon are just not that good. But that's it, and test it and let me know how you guys think.
Thank you for your time, Zach.